Hi everyone. It's a Monday, and I got a calling to make a live on a Monday afternoon, Montreal time. And the thing that came to mind was the difference between receiving and taking and giving. And I know right now you're like, well, we all know the difference between giving, receiving, and taking. However, I want to take it a little bit deeper, something that'll actually resonate, especially for all the givers on the planet, and what it means, the difference between receiving and taking. So, when I'm a giver, when you are giving something of yourself, you are offering someone something, right? I'm giving them my time, I'm giving them my idea, I'm giving them a gift, I'm giving them space, I'm giving them love, I am giving someone something, right? A compliment, that is a giver. And the person who's being given that is the receiver, meaning they are receiving the compliment, they are receiving the help, they are receiving the gift, they are receiving the whatever it is that they are receiving. So this is just how it's like. So there's a giver and a receiver, right? In general, givers like to constantly give, but they have a very hard time receiving. Okay? So we'll keep that aside and we'll just move into taking. Givers worry, some givers worry that if they receive, then they are takers, okay? Because we've seen in the world givers and takers, right? We've been used to these two duality all the time that we haven't ever looked at the receiving. Now we all say, I'm receiving source love, I will receive this. We're learning how to use that. But I just want to take it a little bit deeper to understand what it means to really be receiving and not taking, because there is a huge difference. A taker is someone that nobody's giving something to. Something is not being given to this taker. They're just taking everywhere. It's very effortful. It's based on a lot of limiting beliefs within self. I don't deserve, I don't belong, I have to fight for what I want, I have to strive to get it. Nobody gives me anything for free, I have to take it, I have to struggle, I have to effort. That is a taker. So takers are very empty inside, and because they're empty and they feel alone and unloved, they just want to keep taking. They think it's their right. Nobody loves me. A lot of them are victims of themselves, and they don't want to be victims of themselves, so they become takers, right? Nothing is fulfilling for takers. Nothing is ever fulfilling to takers. No matter how much they get of everything that they want and they keep getting it and taking it, it's never fulfilling enough, okay? So just understand takers. That's why it's scary to receive, because there's this notion that receiving is taking. Just hold with me. Just bear with me. The dots are all connecting. Okay. Now, we're talking at the human level, right? Now, let's go a notch higher, to a higher vibrational frequency, to a higher state of being, to a higher conscious awareness a little bit. If I'm a giver, it brings me joy to see someone receive what I'm giving, right? All you givers know this, right? When you give love, you give your time, you give your hearing, you give your love, you just give. You give gifts, you're just there, you're a giver, you know? You do things for others. The joy comes in how the receiver takes it. The pleasure of the receiver taking it. That's the juice, that's the yummy part, right? That's the fulfillment. Now, there are tons of givers in the world that also want you to be in the receptive mode, meaning to receive what those other givers, you're not the only giver, there are other givers, to also receive what the other giver is giving you, to give them that delightful experience of seeing your joy in receiving the giving, right? So it's a beautiful dance. It's a beautiful dance, okay? So as givers, we're learning how to be also receivers. But the only way a giver can really, really accept being a receiver, because there's a lot of, sometimes there's guilt or, wait, I'm not worthy, I'm not worth it, let me do more. Like if somebody does something, you thank them 1,000 times instead of just once, right? And you're not used to receiving, right? It feels like taking. You're not used to receiving. So this is what happens. When a giver appears in your life and gives you, gift them the gift of you receiving it, because it's a give and take. Even in that, you're giving them the pleasure of receiving what they have given you. Is it making sense? This is just so that the givers can start receiving, right? Because now we're just at the human level, but we're a little bit higher vibration. We're at the human level of how it is to reciprocate for others. So it delights me to give because of how the receivers receive it. Then when the receiver is also a giver and the receiver is going to give, I will be the receiver. I will offer this delights to the giver. So now I start to easily say yes, okay, thank you, right? I could start to receive the help, receive the thing, because it also delights these other givers that are givers. Right? So now it's this beautiful dance. You're not only the giver where you deplete at some point and you start to feel like, oh God, I do so much for others and I'm depleted and nobody does for me. It's just because you're not also receiving. So don't worry, receiving is different than taking. This is where someone's offering you something because it delights them as much as it delights you to give. Okay? Beautiful. Now let's up level it a little bit. When it comes to source, to your angels, to the divine, to whatever it is beyond the veil. So when it comes to that higher realm, we are being taught now to be receptive, to be open to receive. When we can practice with humans on how to receive and give, right? To give and receive at the same time. So as I'm receiving, I'm giving the gift of joy to the other person for being a giver, and I am also receiving what this giver wants, and it's a beautiful cycle. And as I learn how to do this on a human plane, I will know, because I've experienced it, how to do it on a higher vibrational plane. I will know how to do it with source. Source isn't like a different thing anymore. Source is, giving and receiving constantly, right? So we want to open ourselves to receiving from the divine, to receive the love, to receive the grace, to receive the synchronicities, to receive whatever, the joys, the gifts, the people, the journey, the right path, what our higher self wants. We want to receive this information. We want to be open to receive it. But if we believe receiving is taking, then we've because it's a fear, we've closed. So how do we do this on a higher vibration? Very simple. We see source as a friend. We see source as a friend who wants to give us things. Wants to just keep giving us things all the time, right? Offering us stuff, wants to give us, wants to give us, wants to give us. Source wants to just constantly give us support, constantly be there for us, constantly allow us to open ourselves. So now we want to be ready to receive what source, because we don't want to take what source. Taking is also like, this is the life I want. It has to look like this. I'm going to force this success, and I'm going to force this love partnership, and I'm going to force this life to look this way in this house in this country. And it's like very forceful. I want to take the things that I need to be happy. And receiving is I'm allowing whatever the divine chooses for me to be receptive to it, because it's a lot more delightful than what I can come up with to make me happy. Because whatever source is going to offer me, the divine source wonder is going to offer me, is always entangled with joy, happiness, surprises, beauty, all this lovely stuff. It's like a candy store, right? So now I want to learn to open to source. I want to open myself to be a receiver of my path, not the taker of my life. I want to take my life over. I want to control it. I want to take it over because I'm so afraid that I'm getting too old. Life is going to pass me by. I'm not going to get things done. What's the point of my life? What's the point of my purpose? Why am I here? All that we want to get rid of. And we want to just space and to receive the divine inspiration and the divine path. What our higher selves actually have in store for us, which is always better when we receive that information, when we receive the insight, when we are open, right? So you're giving community and you're giving friend, you're giving of yourself to others, you're giving of yourself to nature, you're giving of yourself to source, you're giving yourself to the people around you, you're giving yourself, which will naturally open you up to receiving life force energy. It'll just open you up to life force energy, because what you are giving is of your true authentic self. You are giving of your heart and kindness. Doesn't mean there's no boundaries. You have to have boundaries, right? But you're still in a state of giving. You're not afraid of life. You're in giving. As you're in giving, look at my hands, you're receiving. Cycle. I give, I naturally receive. I give, I naturally receive. And who's the thing? Who do I want to receive from? I don't want to receive from other humans, whatever they want to give me. That is a different story. That's at a different level where you're going to train yourself that way. But I want to receive from the divine, the creator of all, who I am, what I'm meant to be doing here. That is why to understand the difference between taking and receiving is really important. And that is why it's important to understand, what does it mean to give and to receive? To give and to receive. Just think of this motion. You could even do it with yourself. It feels really nice to move that energy. You know, you give and you receive. You give and you put your palms out, and then you turn them inwards and you receive. And just play this game with life. Try it out for 20 days. You know, say for 2 weeks, 20 days, a month. I will just give and I will be open to receive. Okay? And I will practice it with other humans, which will help me elevate my vibration to a space where I can have more unconditional trust to the divine, to my higher self, to that life force energy that is taking care of me no matter what. And I can take my little egoic self out of the way as often as I can, so that I can actually breathe, feel joy, feel space, feel happiness in this life journey. All right. This was very insightful. I hope it was insightful for you. Take care of yourselves. I love you dearly. Leave me, of course, your comments, your likes. I'm going to put this on my YouTube channel. Subscribe there. Whatever. Just let me know if these videos help you, you enjoy them. Are you getting insights from them? Do they resonate with you? And if you have any questions or anything you'd like to share with me, please do. I would love to hear from you always. Take care of yourselves.